Transcription number 149. Sir, we are all aware of the need for fulfilling our commitments as far as the seventh five-year plan is concerned. I'm sure everyone is also willing to sacrifice for the cause of the country, a cause which must override all individual, communal, provincial, or even petty political considerations. Money has to be found and found primarily within our own borders, for in the long run, a nation has to stand on its own strength. The finance minister has therefore rightly said that everyone, rich and poor, has to shoulder the great burden if we are to achieve our aims and objectives. But while everyone is and must be willing to put his shoulder to the wheel, he can only do as much as is commensurate with his strength. Has that strength been appraised right, and what will be the consequences if the burden is more than any sector can bear? The cost of living has gone up considerably. We are told that prices have gone up because the purchasing power of the people has increased. Has the purchasing power of the people increased pari passu with the rise in prices? I doubt it very much. I am not an economist, but I did learn that deficit financing will always cause inflation, and if that is so, the more we go in for deficit financing, the higher will soar the prices of commodities. Women are said to be poor financiers. As a woman, I admit that with the large majority of my sex, I know nothing in regard to the theory of high finance. But as a woman, I also have to meet household expenditure, and I am not at all sure that women do not know how best to make two ends meet. What I fear that the present proposals are going to make it very hard, and in fact may make life impossible for those who are poor, and the large majority in this country are poor. I am glad to read in the papers that kerosene oil has been left out by the finance minister, but he is taxing heavily such other things as the poor man needs, like clothes, sugar, tea, food grains, etc. They are not commodities whose prices can be sent up without touching the poor man's purse. Talking of tea, I wonder if something could be done to stop its adulteration. Now, food cannot continue to be doled out to the poor forever with promises of subsidy, whether by rupees 200 crores, which the Honorable Finance Minister is going to put aside for supplementing the food needs of the nation, or by fair price soaps. Production in every sphere is the only answer, but an undernourished person can never produce. Why has the lowest income rate for taxation been lowered to the extent of making life still harder for the poor man? I think everybody who has anything to do with expenditure today realizes that rupees 1000 per month for a family is nothing at all. Take a man who has got to feed himself, his wife, and three or four children, and perhaps his father and mother who are dependent on him. How can he possibly pay taxation on this small income? The price of the postcard has been raised. Why? The rise in railway fares too is going to hit him. The poor, sir, should be made less poor. That should be the objective of every government, but I fear greatly that the present budget proposals are going almost the other way in many directions on the assumption of the fulfillment of a plan which might itself indeed break on the rock of finance. Sir, I have said I do not believe in destructive criticism, or at any rate, I said I would offer some constructive criticism. Now, there is no one who sympathizes with the finance minister in his efforts to raise money but will be willing to listen to other ways and means which will not hit the poor man quite so hard. Instead of raising the postcard rate, why cannot the price of the stamped envelope be raised from 1 rupee to 2 rupees? I would not mind even if the cost of reply post card was raised to 1 rupee, but I object strongly to the cost of the single postcard, whether local or internal, being increased. I do not know what the yield from such a measure, that is raising the cost of the envelope from 1 rupee to 2 rupees, will be put. I imagine it will not be less than the tax on the postcard. I believe I am right in saying that our civil aviation rates are less than those in the world. The aeroplane up to date is the rich man's means of conveyance. Why cannot airfares be raised rather than railway fares? Sir, I may be pardoned for saying so in this house. So this was the dictation at the speed of 125 words per minute. So you can try to transcribe it and you can count your mistakes. Thank you.